Regular meeting of council for the village of Ashcroft for Monday, June the 8th, 2020. The Hub Online Network will be recording and broadcasting today's council meeting. So move to adopt the agenda as presented. Second, Councillor Anderson.
No.
Oh, sorry, what?
Sorry, Mayor Roden, we have a late item to be added to the agenda, so I need a motion to amend the agenda, please.
So motion to amend the agenda to include the late item, which is to move to a closed meeting. So Councillor, we'll go back with Councillor Davenport this time. All right, just to change things up. Anything else, any additions to the agenda? No. On the question, all those in favor? Opposed, carried. Move on to the minutes of the regular meeting of council held on Monday, May the 25th. Move that they be adopted as presented. Second, Councillor Toohey. Are there any errors or omissions? No, seeing and hearing none on the question. All those in favor? Opposed, carried. We have no delegations this evening. Public input. We have some questions here from Gloria Mertens of TNRD Area I. So I will read out the questions and then the answer briefly. Regarding the Sophie report 2019, the list of suppliers mentions BC Hydro as well as BC Hydro and Power Authority. What is the difference? Are they not the same company? The answer: it is the same company, but billing as two entities, subsidiaries, on our system. So they were summarized in the same manner on the Sophie. It would only be a concern if the two billers were less than $25,000 each, but together constituted more than $25,000. Next question: is Parkland Refining the only major supplier for all the village's fuel? Does this amount represent the amount the village uses for gas in its vehicles? Yes, Parkland Refining is the primary supplier. It represents fuel used in all village operations, including heavy equipment, generators, and vehicles. Please note that Sophie Report 2018 is not on the website, and that has been added subsequent to the question coming in. Regarding the transit superstars, what is the last name of Lawrence, the bus driver, and how long has he been driving the bus? The driver's last name is Marchment. Any questions regarding his employment should be directed to Yellowhead Community Services. Select Committee: has the meeting schedule been published? I believe the public is allowed to attend any Select Committee meetings, but a schedule needs to be on the website for the public to know this. This is the Select Committee on Economic Development and Post-COVID Recovery. The new Economic Development Coordinator will be scheduling these meetings once a suitable candidate is hired. On the motions list, has WSP offered clarification regarding the upgrading of the crossing, the CN crossing on Old Caribou Road? Yes, clarification has been received and requires further discussion when the project is brought back to council. And the final question, Mayor's report, CAO and Mayor meeting with MP Brad Viss. Report mentions infrastructure projects needing to be near shovel ready to capitalize on economic stimulus funding. Does the village have any such projects in the wings? Yes, we discussed a few projects. And I do not believe we have received any other questions from the public. No? No. Questions from the press?
What does WSP stand for?
That's the name of the engineering firm that did the study on the CN crossing regarding whistle cessation.
Okay.
All right, we have no bylaws to address tonight, so we move on to staff reports. We're pressed for decision on the Statement of Financial Information, or Sophie report, which you will find on pages 6 to 20 of the agenda. What is council's pleasure on this? Councillor Toohey.
Thank you, Mayor Roden. I'd like to go with the recommendation that council approves the statement of financial information.
Thank you. Second, Councillor Davenport, CFO Ballin.
Your Worship, I got you listed as a councillor instead of mayor in the title. I'll change that for the final printout and send it to the ministry.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on the Sophie report for 2019? Questions, comments? CFO Bala, I believe this has to be filed by August 31st, is that the deadline?
That is the deadline, yes, the revised deadline.
Right.
But I'll
Yes.
file it as soon as it's signed. and
Right.
ready to go.
So has the deadline for the Sophie report been revised for this year, or is it normally August 31st?
No, it has been revised. It's usually June 1st.
Right.
And it's moved to August 31st.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for getting this done on time and getting it off the desk.
You're welcome, thank you.
All right, seeing no further discussion on the question, on the motion, all those in favor, opposed, carried. Move on to item 6.2, social media policy, and here I have been remiss in not introducing our intern, Amy O'Rourke, who I don't know if everyone, I hope everyone has had an opportunity to look at our new Village of Ashcroft Facebook page, yes, which Amy has developed and is going to be filling in, so thank you for the excellent start already on the water restrictions, I saw that. So, social media policy, what is council's pleasure on this item? Councillor Anderson?
I'll make a motion to go with the staff recommendation that council adopt the Village of Ashcroft social media policy number A03/2020.
Thank you. Second, Councillor Davenport. And is there any discussion on this item? Looks good. Councillor Toohey?
You might as well say something. I read through it, it looked very thorough to me. And I've made sure I shared the Facebook page and recommended lots of people, so hopefully we have a whole bunch more followers now.
Mm-hmm. Just a question regarding, presumably anyone who wants to will be able to comment on any of the items that are put up on the Facebook page?
Yes.
What sort of monitoring is there going to be just to make sure that there's
There's
no eruption of trolls?
There is a very strict profanity filter on right now with like 1,200 items, and I'll be monitoring it and moderating throughout business hours.
Great. Okay, thank you very much. Anyone else have any questions? No? Oh, Councillor Davenport.
And I imagine that if somebody posts on there, it would have to go through staff, or is it directly our comments and our information on the Facebook page?
We're the only ones that can post content, like make posts onto the
Yeah.
page, and others just
So
comment.
it's information?
Yes.
Okay, great, thank you.
CFO Bell?
Your worship, there's also a museum Facebook page
And a pool Facebook page.
and a full
Yes.
Facebook page.
Yes.
And a Twitter account, and
That's all right now.
Instagram.
I don't Twitter.
Perhaps.
We're moving into the social media realm.
Wow, with a vengeance.
Mhm.
All right, any other comments on the question then? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. And we have some information correspondence, which is reopening village facilities. Move that we receive and file.
Second?
Councillor Toohey, thank you. Just thank you for the very comprehensive overview of all the village facilities. I'm sure that will help people plan and know what is happening, and it's nice to see things opening up again.
Yeah.
Councillor Toohey?
Thanks, Mayor Rubin. I just had a question. The one thing I didn't notice in here was washrooms.
May I? So we're working on that. I've got a email in to the contractor that normally does the cleaning, because initially we'd said that we wouldn't be opening them this year, so we're working on it.
Okay.
As soon as we have an idea, and as soon as we know what we're doing, I'll let everybody know and do a public announcement.
Okay, thank you.
All right, on the motion, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Move on to Transit Superstar Recognition Program. I would like to move that the Village of Ashcroft nominate our bus driver, Lawrence Marchment, under the Transit Superstar Program.
I'll second that.
Councillor Anderson seconds, thank you. Any discussion? I mean, they are asking for people who go above and beyond, and I think he certainly qualifies. And the people on the bus love him to bits.
Yeah.
I know has been ill, and we had the issues with the catalytic converter, but I think every time something happens, he just rises to the occasion and really provides a wonderful service for the village and all the communities that the transit system serves.
Yeah.
Any discussion? On the question then, all those in favor, opposed, carried. And we have some items for information. Councillor Davenport.
I move that we receive and file.
Thank you. The second, Councillor Toohey. Just of note, in the SD 74 board bulletin, it's nice to see that the University Meals program will be continuing through the 2021 school year. Any discussion on any of the items? No? The other thing was seeing the takeout program at the library. I hope that gets a good takeout. No pun intended. And talking with the head librarian, Judy Moore from the TNRL, it could be a little while before we see the branches reopen, simply because there are so many things to take into consideration. But it was good to hear that the planned renovation of the interior of the Ashcroft Library is going ahead in 2020. I was afraid that might be something that got put on hold. But the money is scheduled. They have hired an architect, and they will be doing a lot of public solicitation of public input as to what people want to see in the library, or what they want the inside to look like. All right, any further discussion? On the question, all those in favor, opposed, carried. We have the motions list, pages 37 to 40. Move to receive and file. Councillor Anderson seconds. Any comments on any of the items in the actionable motion and task tracker list? No? Excellent job as always, thank you. Nice to see so much green. All right, no further discussion on the question. All those in favor? Opposed, carried. We have no new business. We have no reports, recommendations from committees, committee of the whole, and commissions. So we move on to council reports. Anyone have any questions about my report? Excuse me. No.
Been busy.
Yeah, the conference call with the province was quite interesting. Possibly because the premier was on the call for the first time. There were a lot of very congratulatory comments. In fact, at the end, someone said that couldn't remember that many congratulatory comments about the government in one place at one time. So I think maybe the premier might be planning more of these calls. I don't know. But it was very good. It just gave people a chance to go through it and talk to the premier, and he was listening to 5 or 6 different communities at a time and then replying to them, as opposed to the current system where everyone just goes through and has their say. And there's about 24 municipalities and local governments on the call. So they are set to continue bi-weekly. I don't know for how much longer. The minister hasn't said yet. All right. No further comments then. I move that we take this meeting into closed session under section, the Community Charter, section 90.1 F, law enforcement. Seconded by Councillor Anderson. Thank you. All those in favor? Opposed, carried.